So then, good evening to everyone over in Australia. We are just about ready for the Trackstars Touring Cars racing this afternoon. As is tradition in these streams, we're going to start off with a bit of a high-paced track guide while I've just about got time. To make this quick though. Back at Dragon Trail Seaside for the season opener of the Trackstars Touring Cars. This year the Group 2 cars have been on a diet and gained some power, over 750 brake horsepower, 900 kilos. It makes a world of difference to the way they feel. Last season, if memory serves me correctly, it was around 620 brake horsepower. So certainly the car's a whole different animal, as you can see here through the S's, so quick and they're so powerful that you have to be so careful not to overdo it. Just going to get to the end of the lap. I've been told to jump out, but I will at least get through the death chicane for the benefit of the track guide. Going to try and do it flat. Much more comfortable to lift out slightly. You know what the last corner is like, fairly simple. Let's jump out because qualifying is about to begin, but I've just entered again by accident. Trying to drive and talk is often a bit tricky. And so we can now get ready for the racing proper here on the Trackstars channel. We hope you are having a pleasant Valentine's Day wherever you are in the world. Many of you in Australia, of course, already having had most of your Valentine's Day, so I hope you had a good one. And will it be a story of romantic proportions for this man, Spud? The Triple Crown holder, I suppose you could say, within the Trackstars Championships last year. Not only was he the Trackstars Touring Cars champion, he was the Formula Trackstars champion and also the Porsche Cup champion here in Trackstars, the undisputed king of Trackstars Championships last season. Mash Spud's racing outfit will be endeavouring to follow up on that success. Not just Spud, of course, but also this man, the teammate Puntz, who had a fairly positive season in the Trackstars Touring Cars last year. Only ended up 7th in the standings, but as you may remember, if you tuned in over on my Twitch channel last season, he did join the category a little late, only arriving in the series for Bathurst in the 2020 Trackstars Touring Cars season. So he's going to have a full season alongside the Spud himself, and we'll see how far up the order Puntz can get. And of course, maybe there is nothing to stop him challenging the main man himself when it comes to a battle across the season. So then, we are about to get qualifying underway. Who will be the first out onto the circuit? It's one of the Nissans. Looks like it's SDRT Wazadon who gets out there first, only for SDRT Wiseacre to go past him, and actually there, a bit of contact between a couple of the drivers. Hopefully no damage courtesy of that, but we are underway for 10 minutes of qualifying. These drivers, these cars, all eager and raring to go. We were talking about these Group 2 cars having received a diet and a nice injection of jalapeno, extra power and lighter. These cars are now an entirely different feel than they were last season in the Trackstars Touring cars. And interestingly, we do have some Hondas back in the category. Here is It's Racing in the NSX. Now, you may remember last season the NSX was used intermittently by a few drivers, but there were no consistent full season entries for the Honda machine. The mid-engined Class 1 Super GT GT500 spec car was not in favour, it's safe to say. It was considered to be much slower, so it's interesting to see that that car is out here with us once again, and we'll see what It's Racing in the 95 can do. Started the season in a Honda NSX last year, but eventually yielded to popular consciousness and instead picked out the Lexus RCF. Let's see if the Honda is more successful and more in favour across the season this time around. We'll watch It's Racing then on his flying lap, as he's currently the leading car out there on track. But look at that understeer. That car did not want to grip at all. He is on the medium tyres, as they all are in qualifying. I understand that in this race, 24 lap races, two of them here today, two 24 lap races here at the Dragon Trail Seaside, and in one of those races they are allowed to use a soft tyre compound, although they must do 5 laps on the mediums within that race as well, so effectively a maximum of 19 laps on the softs for the drivers. But that aside, the medium tyres are the ones they are using, so with the added power and the lesser weight has also come a decrease in grip by and large, so we are not lacking hurdles here in Trackstars touring cars this season. Here is It's Racing then across the line. He's going to set the benchmark for the pack. Is it going to be a 1:24? No, it's a 1:23.948, but SDRT Wiseacre immediately past the start line just after him, lowers the bar to a 1:23.610. Deadpool, meanwhile, across the line on a 23.465. That's the other It's Racing entry, number 28, across the line. Huzo just crossing the line on 24.579. Let's follow Deadpool on this lap and see if he can go any quicker. Brakes in the NSX then. Let's see where is It's Racing, because It's time in the last lap was very good, and we saw that mistake at the final corner, or at the end of the first sector, so let's see if he's hooked it up a little more this time. Heads into the final corner, looked like he ever so slightly overdid it, right on the limit of adhesion both in and out of the corner. Is that the strategy though? Let's see the Oval Racing driver in real life on the twisty stuff in the sim racing world, and does improve his time, but not by a significant amount. Let's see if there's any lowering of the bar. There is some lowering of the bar off camera from Deadpool, who does a 1:23.321 to extend his advantage at the top of the timing sheets for the time being. Where is our defending champion Spud? Just heading out onto the circuit, having done a 1:29.0 thus far, so he has not set a representative lap time just yet, and he's on an outlap, so it's going to be a minute or two before we see him do anything. But there's Punts. Punts in the other match. Spud's car has had a moment there. He's got engine damage, he's got splitter damage, and he's got suspension damage. The whole full set there as the other Spud's Racing Lexus goes flying past. Well, controversial is not the word, but a tricky start for the Lexus camp then. Oh, and look at It's Racing there, right on the curb. He's got damage from all angles by the looks of it, so he's not had a particularly great time of it out there on circuit. Here's Wiseacre. Livery somewhat reminiscent of the 2011-2010 spec Nissan GTR GT1 cars with the Domino's twist. Goes a little bit slower than he did last time, a 23.666, only a few hundredths off his personal best, so lapping consistently, which is as good a sign as anything else. There's Papa AT in third position. Number 4 car going slowly at the moment on an outlap, so just getting out of the way. Punts is still making his way around the circuit, despite what on my screen at least is showing as engine damage. Lurox 22 just coming towards the end of a lap. Now we expect Lurox to be quicker than he is at the moment, but he's also got engine damage. There's a lot of drivers here throwing it off circuit on their flying laps. Here's Spud in the number 1 car. Spud, who we expect to be right up at the sharp end, is pushing it so hard. He's 2/10 purple in at the first sector then, through the sweeping S-bends in the RCF. Let's see what kind of lap time this is going to be. The first sector is promising from the defending champion. Spud taking 6 race wins in the Trackstars Touring Cars last year. Can he get 1 or 2 here at Dragon Trail today? It's going to depend largely on this qualifying performance. Deadpool just improved again to a 23.246 off camera. Spud on the split times was set to go purple. Will he still do it? Was a bit scraggly there through the death chicane, as it is known in Gran Turismo lore, out of the final corner. Let's see what kind of time it is. It will be good enough for the first few spots, but is it good enough for pole position? It is not. It's good enough for third place, a 1:23.740. That makes him the first of the Nissans, the first of the Lexuses at the moment, behind the Nissan of Wiseacre and the Honda NSX of Deadpool. So Deadpool proving the effectiveness of the NSX, although also nearly proving the effectiveness of the gravel trap, really pushing to the limit of adhesion in that car. So then, just a minute and 20 left to go. Some improvements further down the order. SDRT Wazadon goes to a 24.575, and Papa AT has just gone to third place, interestingly. Papa AT was rather competitive last week in the Formula Trackstars series, had some good battles with its racing, who also just improved to a 23.794. Sparks fly as he goes under braking. Farrell PS moves up to second place off camera on a 23.497. We're going to follow its racing on this flying lap. Let's see what kind of speed he can put out there with 35 seconds in the session left to run. Where is Spud on track? There he is, so we'll keep an eye on Spud as well. It's racing though. Just going through the S-bends. Doesn't look like the quickest lap to me, but that is just the eyeball test. Could well be wrong. Sometimes smooth is slow to the eye, but not to the timing screen. Certainly looks like a smoother lap in the NSX, which is often more tail-happy than the others, courtesy of the layout of the drivetrain. Through the final corner now then. Let's see what kind of lap this is. Comes across the line now. Wiseacre just improved to a 23.534, which put him third. Its racing does not improve. Where is Spud? Let's see what kind of time Spud's putting in. rounds the final corner with one of the other Lexuses just behind him. That's DJSX Pointed. Across the line goes Spud. It was not an improvement. Is there anyone else on a fast lap out there on circuit? Punts there just into the barriers. Tried to thread the needle. It did not quite pay off for him. And with that, I believe everybody who's looking likely to improve has already done so. So we are about to go for the first 24-lap race. Mandatory pit stops in this one. The choice is available to them as to whether they take the softs in this one. As a reminder, in a race in which they take the softs tyres and they can only do it once across the two races, they also have to be on the mediums for 5 laps, and in general we do have a mandatory pit stop here. Some intel there from DJSX Pointed. I hit the wall on my fast lap. It's always incredibly disappointing when that happens, but so easily done here at Dragon Trail. What's not so easily done is launching a 900 kilo, 750 brake horsepower Group 2 car off the line from a standing start. But that's what we're about to see 16 drivers do as we get ready for racing. The first race of the season at Dragon Trail International Raceway for the Trackstars touring cars, and they are underway. It's Deadpool with a good launch from pole position. Farrell PS slightly more sluggish off the line from P2. That allows SDRT Wiseacre to draw alongside and past on the approach to the first corner. Papa AT there as well. It's Honda versus Nissan at the front of the order. The first of the Lexuses is Spud in 5th place. So the Lexus Gazoo Racing outfit is part of his apparel for this season. Not off to as good of a start as they were last year. And some dramas further back there. 3 wide. Xiaomi also having a moment. Top 3 spreading out, and it's Racing challenging for 4th place. Holds on to the position. The 2 Nissans from RoboSport there running in tandem in 6th and 7th. It's Farrell PS and Lurox 22, 2 drivers who we expect great things from. There's Disappointed, or DJSX Pointed, into the barriers on lap 1 of 24 on his medium tyres. That's unfortunate stuff from the 888 car. Off and into the wall. Deadpool leading the way then at the end of lap number 1 under the tunnels along the Seaside here. Clue is in the title of the circuit, and is the Honda in the lead of the race. The first of the Nissans is next, SDRT Wiseacre, followed then by Papa AT in 3rd position. Next up is It's Racing in 4th alongside Punt and Farrell in 4th, 5th and 6th, and then someone into the pits immediately. That's Lurox 22 and Spud, interestingly. We've got 2 pitters in the early going, 3 in fact, because there is Huzo as well. Here's our champion with a pit stop on lap number 1. Now the question is, yes, he does have damage, so he must have had a moment on that first lap. He does stay on the mediums critically. I was wondering if this was going to be a move onto the softs, but of course, even if he did want to move on to the softs, he has to do 5 laps on the mediums, so it would be rather counterintuitive to put the softs on now anyway. This is going to be a long race then for our champion, who has been in the wall on lap number 1. Huzo also potentially been in the wall, and we have seen, of course, DJSX Pointed in the wall already. Safety car has been declared by RoboSport, so that's significant. Has there been an incident further back? Just looking for more damaged cars if there are any. Certainly there's some damage on the back of HSV's car, but the safety car has been called by RoboSport. Not to be confused with the team. He is the patron of the team, but he is not a driver in the series. He drives the humble Nissan GTR safety car for this series, and he is waiting for the leading cars, and there they are, the top 3. Deadpool, Wiseacre, Papa AT, they were breaking away, so this is unfortunate for the 3 of them. They were really well clear after just 1 sector of this race. But now the rest of the pack joins them together once more. Let's talk about some of the other drivers in this then. Let's talk about Deadpool in particular. Second in the Dragon Trail Derby here at the Seaside circuit just a couple of weeks ago, the effective season opener for Trackstars. I don't believe that was broadcast, but it was kind of how they kicked things off, and was also a part of the Porsche Cup, but only completed one round. In that one round, however, a pole position and 2 fastest laps from Deadpool. So Deadpool, even though he's relatively new to the scene, is certainly a quick driver, showing that at the moment, and of course a good signing for It's Racing, a relatively new driver, a relatively unknown quantity compared to some of the drivers here who know each other very well. So certainly an X factor around Deadpool. Driver we're very much looking forward to seeing across the season. Of course, the sole British driver in the ranks at the moment. 15 cars on circuit then. One of them is the safety car. Will it be back down to 14 this time around? The lights still on RoboSport's machine. Everyone is queued up now. I'm expecting the safety car to be in this time by. This is, of course, a blessing for some. Spud will be delighted that he's got an opportunity to redeem himself from the first lap mistake. A few of the other drivers who had issues on the first lap, Xiaomi and Lurox, will be happy to be closed up once again. We'd expect them normally to be further up the order, of course. I believe Robbo will be peeling into the pits in the safety car. No. Okay, so another lap under safety car conditions by the looks of it. Some pit stops ongoing. Farrell PS is in. Now, he's only done 3 laps, so if he's moving on to the softs, he's doing it too early. Spud is in. Back onto the mediums. Question is, where does he come out on the circuit? Does he have to drop all the way to the back of the safety car queue? He ends up slotting into 11th, which I believe is exactly where he was. So negligible difference there. 2 drivers elected to make the pit stop. I think Farrell there had a longer stop than Spud, if I'm not mistaken. So another lap under safety car conditions. Of 24 then, and a second lap under safety car. The elite brake and mechanical backed safety car, of course, EBM, doing a lot of great work with Trackstars across the various series this season. Great to see this rapidly growing sim racing movement, particularly in Australia, of course, but also seeing some international eyes. And it's great to see a company like Elite Brake and Mechanical getting behind it. Of course, not just in sponsorship, but also with drivers on the circuit. So thanks as always to EBM. GTR still out on circuit then. The big, tall, lumbering Nissan GTR as it looks relative to the race cars. I think the race cars will be about to go racing. It's Deadpool controlling the pace as RoboSport drives away. Question is, when will the British driver in the 28 car put the hammer down? Does so now, but I thought he might get a wiggle on. That NSX can often bite back, and it did. Wiseacre, meanwhile, into pit lane. The rest of the field continues on its merry way. And it's Deadpool who leads from Papa AT second, and it's racing third. It's an NSX top 3, followed by the first of the Lexi Hunts. Oh no, Nissan instead into 4th place, courtesy of Wazadon, who wasn't all of that quick in qualifying, but with all of the dramas, he has moved up the order. But Puntz is there on the inside. They're side by side. Oh, wheels on the grass and gravel, but they just about hold on to it. But Puntz takes 4th place. There's Lurox 22 on the attack as well. Tries to move up into 5th place, courtesy of the moment there between Puntz and Wazadon, and he makes it stick all the way around the outside at the first element of the S's, then rubs barge boards effectively with Puntz. He didn't have the best of races in the Formula Track Stars here last week. He's hoping for a better time this time around. There goes Brandoza up the inside for 6th place. EBM Brandoza, of course, one of the elite brake and mechanical drivers we were just talking about. And he is on the attack at the moment into the barriers. There goes Spud. Has Spud got damage? Not on my screen at least. Lots of argy-bargy further back. There's HSV running in 9th place currently in, well, they're both considered the AAA car on my screen, but one of them surely mustn't be. Nonetheless, It's Racing has come into pit lane at the end of lap number 5. So is this a switch to the soft tyres for the number 95? There is some damage to that car on the front and rear, so maybe this was more out of necessity, and onto the softs indeed goes goes It's Racing. 1:23.315, fastest lap of the race, straight out of the box on the first flying lap after safety car from Deadpool, who is having a wonderful race to this point. Runs across the curbs and over the crest here at Seaside. The gap already out to 1.7 seconds from Papa AT. Lurox some 5 seconds further back after the fighting. And 4th place is Puntz. Brandoza there in 5th place. That's good running from EBM Brandoza, of course. Had a great showing last year in the Bathurst 1000. The winner alongside Speedy Tyres, currently going for 4th place. Puntz is defenseless against the speed of the GTR, but on the brakes Puntz is later. Brandoza though with the inside line. Puntz goes for the cutback, in fact no heads into pit lane, and there is Spud in 5th position. So with all of the drama and argy-bargy there on that flying lap, first flying lap after the safety car, Spud has made his way up the order, is now into P4. So there we go, our defending champion, having struggled in the early going, is now picking off cars left, right and centre, and Spud is into P4. But look at that gap between 4th and 1st, 10.3 seconds the gap displayed on the screen between Deadpool and Spud. And that is, yes, surmountable. With a driver as high quality as Deadpool, that's going to be a big ask for Spud. His title defence has not gone off to the best of starts, but surely after that drama in the opening lap, the only way is up. Lurox 22 there in P3. Runs down the back straight and into the final corner to complete another lap in the RoboSport GTR, which has gained some black, as well as the red, white and blue classic Nissan factory colours this season. Car looking as good as ever. Well turned out cars are everywhere in the world of track stars. Brandoza's been holding on to the back of Spud. I honestly thought Spud was going to rather drop the GTR for 4th place there, but no, Brandoza is staying with him. DJ SX Pointed in 6th place. Last running it out on the curb there. cars from Pit Lane Esports. His car number 24, despite what it says above his roof. And there's Brandoza. He's been pushing too hard in trying to follow the defending champion. And he is off the track. Looks like he's managed to get away without any damage, which is quite rare at that section of the circuit. Battle for 7th place, meanwhile. HSV and Farrell for 7th place as they run through the chicane. Always sketchy and not a lot of fun when you go through there at close quarters. It is HSV then in 7th place in the 888 car. Farrell PS, meanwhile, just there behind him in 8th in the RoboSport entry. 10th in last year's Trackstars touring cars, looking for 7th in this race. Side by side with HSV. He's got the outside line for the first chicane. Is HSV going to keep the nose there? He's not quite able to. Farrell PS moves up into 7th place, fair and square. Good driving from Farrell in car number 2. Huso, meanwhile, in the 9th spot in the 2nd of the NSXs. He's lost it under braking. He's got himself some damage for his troubles there. The 16 on the side of Huso's car, that historic number for racing Honda NSXs, usually affiliated to a Castrol livery of some kind. Unfortunately, his car affiliated with the wall there. Someone else having some dramas as well. That's HSV in strife. And there goes Huso. There goes Shiami. Shiami into the wall. And so is Huso. They were trying to avoid the recovering HSV. That's going to be one for the stewards to look at after the race. I imagine an appeal will be lodged in some capacity. Meanwhile, SDRT Wiseacre tiptoeing around these damaged cars at the moment and losing a lot of time as a result. And that is because the safety car has been deployed once again. The leader, meanwhile, just coming out of the pit lane, so he's going to drop a couple of positions, but his disadvantage from the safety car is minimal. RoboSport, though, didn't declare the safety car in time, and people have gone straight past. That's interesting because some of them were already slowing down as if it was a safety car. There is a party chat going on, so I'm guessing it was declared in the party chat before the game chat. And so we're going to have to wait a lap for the safety car queue to be set straight. A reminder that pit stops are mandatory in this race. And I think Papa AT may be looking to build a gap over Lurox and hopefully get back out after having a pit stop this time by, and hopefully get back out somewhere around this 3-car skirmish for 2nd place. Lurox Deadpool, who has had a masterstroke here, will have just served his stop and be in a position where he doesn't lose any time courtesy of that safety car. There's Spud in 4th place then. If you had to put money on a season-long battle between 2 or 3 drivers, I think everyone in shot would be in mind. Lurox, Deadpool, Spud, 3 drivers who look incredibly quick. Lurox is a very consistent driver and often has significant flashes of pace. Didn't seem to hook it up in qualifying here today. Safety car has been deployed, and safety car has caught the race leader, Papa AT, with 11 laps completed here at Dragon Trail. Noting on the screen that there is some audio crackle once again, so apologies if that's making this a difficult view. I think this has more to do with low bandwidth than my equipment, unfortunately. I've been doing some troubleshooting during the week It looks like it might be a bandwidth issue as opposed to anything else, so my apologies. There's not much I can do midstream to fix this issue, so I'm afraid we're going to have to just grin and bear it on this occasion, unfortunately. So my profuse apologies if it's making this a difficult viewing experience, but we'll try and push through. Safety car then is out at Dragon Trail Seaside, 11 laps into race 1 of the evening for the Australian drivers, morning for myself and Deadpool. Into the pits goes DJSX Pointed. Now, is this a call to go onto the soft tyres? A reminder that they can use the soft once across the race, or across the weekend, I should say, across the 2 races. There goes DJSX Pointed back out into 7th position. Then in P14, the Next Level Racing colours on the side of the car. He's technically entered under CP Motorsports, but you can see their Next Level Racing decals on the side at the very least. Let's look at who's on what compound. That could be critical as this race gets back underway. It's mediums for Papa AT and Lurox. Same to Deadpool in 3rd place. Spud there in 4th, also on the mediums. I believe the first of the soft runners is indeed It's Racing in 6th spot. Now, of course, It's has had a few dramas so far in this race, but on the soft compound with 5 medium drivers now directly ahead of him, courtesy of this safety car, he could be in the pound seat. The safety car pulls away from the pack because we are about to go racing. It's Papa AT controlling the field, controlling the pace on lap 12. We're at half distance in the first of 2 races here today. Papa AT puts the hammer down, and we are back to green flag racing. Papa AT leading as we go back to green flag conditions then. Lap 13 of 24. Deadpool in 2nd place, just trying to hold on to it, but Spud on the attack in the Lexus. I think on vaguely cold tyres, the Lexus is an easier drive. There's It's Racing on the attack on the soft tyres. Let's keep an eye on him. He's just coming up on his teammate who's had a shocking first couple of corners. Going to be dropped all the way down to P5, potentially even P6. No, not quite. Holds on to 5th spot, but runs it deep in the first element of the S's, which of course bites him again and again as they run up the hill. Just about holds on to 5th place from Farrell there in 6th, and Brandosa late on the brakes there in 7th place. Now make that 6th place in the purple and black GTR. Spud in P2. Fastest potato in the Trackstars Touring Cars Series, back up to 2nd place then on the medium tyres, as most of these drivers are. The one exception to that is It's Racing. They're in 4th place. You'd suggest that the balance of things currently falls well in the favour of the 95 car, up into 3rd place there. Oh, but very physical between he and Lurox Isn't having it that easily, and It's Racing's car steps out on him. That allows Deadpool through into third place. That was hard but fair to my eye. Oh, but a bump there from It's Racing to Lurox. That one might be a little bit controversial. There was just the slightest bump, at least on my screen, but It's Racing up into P4 as a result of it. The stewards are going to have to take a look at that one retroactively, as they do. The stewarding team here at Trackstars is incidentally the team behind the former nucleus of this series. The series starting off as the core Australian V8 supercars over on Gran Turismo 6. Core was, of course, a British-based organisation, and it's still the likes of Mem289 and Johnny B 1990 that look over the tapes after the racing is done and make sure that all is clean and fair in the world of the Trackstars touring cars, the Formula Trackstars, and our other series. So then Deadpool and It's Racing running line astern. It's will not be too happy. That soft tyre advantage is only good for as long as the tyres are fresh, and of course every lap that he spends having physical battles is a lap where he's not particularly helping himself, and I think maybe getting slightly distracted there by the fact that Farrell PS has left the room. Farrell PS must have a disconnection issue. So the RoboSport team down one car. The Rox 22 now a lone gunner for the rest of the race. An unfortunate disconnect for Farrell. Papa AT in the lead at the moment then, and really driving away. Had wondered if he'd find himself having to defend his lead hard, but at the moment he's only extending the gap over the defending champion. Of course, N-Spud's race has been a potent mix of highs and lows thus far. Dramas on the first lap, down at the very back of the order. Safety cars have played into his advantage well, but now second place under threat from both of the It's Racing Esports NSXs. Mashed Spuds and It's Racing, two of the real foundation teams of the series in this day and age. Spud, of course, the defending champ, not just here but in the Formula Trackstars and the Porsche Cup. He's going up against a relative newcomer in Deadpool. And will it be the British driver who finds a way past Spud? Certainly he looks to be the quicker driver at this stage of the game. Has the fastest lap of the race under his belt, a 1:22.546. And lest we forget, he's done that on mediums as well, so he's not even on the quicker tyre. They're very close as they go through the chicane, never fully comfortable. Spud there, looking a step more scraggly. Looks moves to the inside to try and defend the position. Poole tries to go the long way around the outside. They're side by side, brushing fenders as they come out of the final corner. It's a drag race now across the line, and Deadpool has made it through. Just about a car ahead, but there goes the nose of Spud. Can Spud find a way around the outside? No, he can't. There goes It's Racing. It's side by side for P3 now. More touching, more argy-bargy, and oh, Spud's car steps out on him there. Which, coincidentally, keeps It's Racing at bay for just a couple more corners, but they're side by side again. Oh, It's Racing really having to fight the NSX, and this time he's through into third place. I think, again, that will come under hard but fair. But hard, certainly the operative word in that particular moment. That will have been a seat of the pants moment for both It's Racing and N-Spud. Question is, in this battle for third place, does It's Racing now pull rank on Deadpool? It's his team, but Deadpool has looked like the more promising driver so far in this race, at least. will that be the case across the championship? I'm sure that would be the thinking already. There are no wasted rounds in the Trackstars Touring Car Series. Papa AT, though, is into pit lane because he is yet to have a pit stop, critically. And so it's a 1-2 for It's Racing Esports. This is going to be a big moment for It's Racing here in second place. He's going to be very happy with this. These two cars immaculately turned out, and at the moment, they are being driven better than anything else out there on circuit. Meanwhile, Spud has dropped down to 8th place. A 1:32 last time by. Didn't catch this on camera. Of course, has already been in the pits more than enough. Yellow flags out elsewhere. It's Wiseacre. Wiseacre into the barriers in the Domino's Nissan. And, well, that car looks mortally wounded based on what's happening here. Trying to reverse it, trying to just make it move in any way, shape or form, is sideways to the track at the moment with the car ghosted. And oh dear, this looks like it might be an issue with maybe hardware more so than car, because that was some very odd body language on the thing. Safety car has been declared once again. Medium tyres on Deadpool's car. Looks like Deadpool is going for another stop. Going again, fresh tyres. There's nothing to prevent you utilising more tyres than the minimum one stop. So he wants some fresh rubbers on his car. It's Racing, meanwhile, is going to have to stay on the more worn softs unless he wants to end up back on the mediums, because you can only use one set of softs across the 2 races. Other than that, you really have to be running the medium tyres. So that's a strategic call that It's Racing has made, and it was a good one. But now he's got DJSX pointed for company in second place, also on soft tyres. The first of the medium runners is Deadpool, of course, now on the fresh rubber, so he could be a viable threat here to the two cars with slightly worn rubber, although I'd suggest they're still very much at peak performance for now. EBM Brandosa, he's had a relatively quiet race, a couple of dramas, but he's always there or thereabouts and is currently in 4th place. Papa AT, of course, had to make a pit stop from the lead just a couple of laps ago. He'll be fairly happy with this safety car, I think. It effectively nulls the effect of the safety car period. So then Spud in 6th place for the time being, who had some dramas just at some point in the last couple of laps. Unfortunately, didn't catch that on camera, but again, I think he's been rather saved by the safety car. He dropped down to 8th place, he's back up to 6th, and now he's right there with the leaders still as we get ready for the climax of this race. So, Deering, tuning in from Ireland. Hello, Deering. Let us know where you're watching the broadcast from this morning, if you are tuning in live. Always good to see where everybody is watching from, be it morning or evening, as it is for most of these Australian competitors. Interloping Brit Deadpool there in 3rd place. Lots of queuing up here at the moment with the safety car. Always a bit risky when you've got slowing down and speeding up in the safety car queue. It's Racing esports sandwich, or at least the It's Racing esports drivers are the bread in a sandwich being filled by DJSX Pointed. Pit lane esports driver in P2 at the moment. Can he hold on to that position? Another driver relatively new to the Trackstars scene, but a driver that has proven himself time and time again since arriving. Was 5th place in the Trackstars Porsche Cup Elite class. Had some good run-outs as well in the Bathurst 1000 event as a last-minute substitute last season. Safety car will be in this time then. And what a difference a year makes. This time last year, the Honda NSX was all but abandoned as a car within the Trackstars Touring Car Series. This season, it leads the way. Hopefully the final safety car on lap 20 of 24. First of 2 races here. The first round of the Trackstars season, the power is down, the racing is back on, and it's Racing in the lead. Oh, some sideways and, well, weaving, I should say, trying to get heat back into the tyres. And DJSX Pointed has immediately had to yield 2nd place to Deadpool. Deadpool into P2 then in the NSX. It's once again an It's Racing 1-2, of course, before the safety car, or just as the safety car was deployed, Deadpool made the decision to pit for new mediums, and it looks as though that's paid off already, because of course DJSX on softs, yes, but on slightly more worn softs has already fallen back. 4th place Brandosa there, under pressure from Spud, who's already got past Papa AT and now wants 4th place back. Can Spud salvage a late podium from this race? Alongside Brandosa in the first of the Lexuses. The second of the Lexuses, my apologies. I forgot about DJSX Pointed. The first of the matched Spud's cars. It's not been the strongest start to the title defence, but off into the barriers has gone Spud. We were just talking about him. It's not been the strongest race so far, were the fatal words that came out of my mouth. And unfortunately, more dramas for Spud. More damage for Spud. Also Xiaomi and Wazadon with some damage as well. Another safety car declared. Wow, this race has not been short of drama. We can tell we're at Dragon Trail Seaside, ladies and gentlemen. Well, all of the safety cars so far have been 2 laps in length. By the time the safety cars picked up the leader here, it will be lap 23, so we'll either get a 1-lap dash, or will this race end under safety car? The It's Racing crew tend to be showmen and women, but I'm not certain whether we're going to go back to green flag. This is only the first of 2 races, of course, so this round is not a write-off yet for Spud. He's got another chance in just a little while. But look at this 1-2 situation for It's Racing and Deadpool. It's looking set to be a very good start to the season in the first of 2 races here today at Dragon Trail Seaside. Safety car will now pick up the pack. DJSX Pointed again in 3rd place then, or rather, of course, was 2nd last time, but still right there in the thick of it, and really is a testament to keeping it on track. He's made fewer mistakes than most of those around him. Hasn't made any And yes, Tom, I'm aware. I'm going to try and switch mics between races here. Unfortunately, my equipment seems to be having issues, or I'm not sure if it's bandwidth or equipment, but I thought I fixed stuff. Stuff has not been fixed. Apologies, but we will endeavour to sort that out in just a few moments after this race. So then, safety car is starting to distance itself from the order, which tells me this might be the final lap under safety car. We're about to go racing once again. One last lap of action for the Trackstars touring cars in their season opening race. Racing then puts the hammer down, and we are back to racing conditions for one last lap. It's Racing's car there, getting all out of arrears. And the 95 car leads away for the final lap. The top five breaking away from the rest of the pack at this stage. It's Racing 1-2. Deadpool there in second place. I don't think there'll be a fight among the two of them. DJSX Pointed, meanwhile, is going to have to fight hard to hold off third place. He's got two good guns behind him in Lurox and Papa AT. Lurox looking to the inside speculatively there, but can't make the move for third place. Will it be a podium for Lexus or Nissan? Or will it be an all-whole Honda deadlock? Honda in fifth place, Papa AT. Oh, lots of side-by-side argy-bargy, and Disappointed has finally made a mistake and he's into the barriers. Such an unfortunate time to make his error on the final lap. Drivers avoiding the ghost. And that podium position has become a bitter blow in the final lap of the race. The top two again look fairly solidified. Third place does not. Lurox having lots of pressure applied to him. He's touched the wall. Papa AT is through. It's an all-Honda top three. Will Lurox make a move into the final corner? He's not close enough. It's Racing, meanwhile, will take the win. It's an It's Racing Esports 1-2 in the first race of the season. That's a picturesque way to end the first race. It's a 1-2 for It's Racing Esports, a 1-2-3 for Honda. Lurox 22 across the line in fourth place in the first of the Nissans. Huzo came across the line fifth, so 4 Hondas in the top 5. Well, that's going to be one that's celebrated at Honda HQ. Wiseacre taking 6th place after some dramas. In his race, of course, he was the cause of the second last safety car, but recovered to 6th place. HSV in 7th. Punts there, only as high as 8th. That's not what he would have expected, but Spud in 10th place, the defending champion. Not with the showing he would have wanted. It's going to be a long drive back to pit lane for Spud as he tries to realign himself in time for race 2, but 10th place is not where he would have wanted to finish. DJSX Pointed, of course, also disappointed, as I sometimes alternatively read his screen name. 12th place was the best he could muster. So then I'm going to try and switch microphones again. Apologies that this issue has come up again. I honestly thought I'd fixed it, so I thought I'd use the main microphone, but it seems to be still having issues. Hopefully we can get things hooked up properly for the next race.
Hopefully I can be heard at the moment. Just trying something new. If the stream could let me know if I'm being heard and whether it's clear or not, that would be good. I'm just going to have to whip this headset off my head so I can try and hear it a bit as well. Just hearing it might be a game audio issue as well. Maybe it's the sound card. I don't know. I'm trying to fix this. Apologies.
Right, okay, that microphone is no good. I'm interested there in what's being said by Brawn GP. That the game audio is crackling as well, and I could hear that too. So I'm just going effectively to rewire everything, which will, I don't know if it will end the stream or not. So I'm going to have to do it, and if it ends the stream, my apologies. But we're going to give it a go, because we'd obviously rather things were as good as they could be for the second race. So apologies, and hopefully this works.